Welcome to the Soul Seed podcast, where soul meets strategy. Every week, I, your host, Sabrina Greer, have activated conversations with multi-passionate, soul-led thought leaders about their journey of growth from seed to soul's purpose. Every successful book, brand, business, podcast, product, or program starts as a seed, an idea planted into the soul of its creator. Be inspired by those who've led before us, 6, 7, 8-figure entrepreneurs, best-selling authors, top-rated podcasters, and multifaceted humans. Be empowered by their humble beginnings and expanded by their tenacity and spirit. Join us in the frequency of abundance as we go to the story roots of these powerhouses. Learn how to apply and leverage the Soul Seed method in the creation of your very own legacy. Let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soul Seed, the podcast. I am super excited for our guest today on this Story Roots session of the podcast. I'm here with Heather Lynn. She is a competitive bodybuilder, believes that a healthy mind and healthy body go hand in hand. As a personal trainer and fitness instructor, Heather teaches that everyone can achieve health, happiness, and life they are excited about. She resides in beautiful British Columbia, where she was born and raised, and is here with us today to talk about the launch of her new book. So excited to have you here. From hot mess to happiness, available now everywhere. Go get it on Amazon. Go get your copy. We're going to link it here in the show notes. I'm super excited for you, Heather. Thanks for being here. And thanks for putting this beautiful work out into the world.
Thank you.
So exciting. So tell me a bit about you, the non-bio version, as we call it on this show, of you, the real you, the behind the scenes you. Tell us a little bit about your journey to get here.
Sure. I am a personal trainer now. I compete in bodybuilding, as you mentioned. So when people see me, I think a lot of people assume that I've just always been athletic. And believe me, I have not. I was the kid who was always a little overweight, really had asthma, did everything she could to get out of doing physical activity. And my self-esteem was really low as well. It was tough for me when I was a kid. And it wasn't until I got into my teen years, I decided to look at the gym. When I started training at the gym, I got great results. I felt really good about myself. It felt like something that I was actually able to do well. And it was a physical thing. When I left home, when I moved out and went to school, I went to school for sciences. I should have gone into kinesiology rather than biosciences. I made a career out of bodybuilding and personal training, and probably the last thing that people who knew me as a kid would expect from me. They'd probably be pretty shocked.
Isn't that so fun how that happens? We end up somewhere. And we talk about that on the show a lot, because a soul seed essentially is just like planting that in your soul. Like, what brings you joy? What brings you happiness? And it's not a linear journey to get there ever. I hear all the time about people going to school for something and now having a completely different career. I'm one of those people who knew I was going to be a publisher when I grew up. I certainly did not. So thank you for sharing that. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the book.
The main inspiration was I wanted to help people to not go through what I went through when I was younger. When I was younger, my self-esteem was really low. I was depressed, and I just took everything so super seriously. And I was so down on myself. When I finally got to a point in my life where I simplified things and I let things go, I was a little more easygoing about things. All of a sudden, I saw that my life was turning into this happy life, and I was excited about it. And I thought, wow, I wish I had known then what I knew now. And I thought maybe I could be the person to do that for someone else who's struggling right now. The inspiration was really to hopefully speak to mostly younger women. I find it seems younger women struggle a little more with this. I know guys do as well. I just wanted to be that voice to let them know it's not as bad as it seems. There is a way out. You're not doomed to be depressed. Even if your self-esteem is really low, you're not doomed to be there. You can actually do certain things and feel good about yourself and feel excited about life. When I was finally excited about life and the things that I was doing, I just thought, wow, this is awesome. Compared to me 20 years ago, totally different people, completely 100% different. I find it sad that I missed a lot of those younger years because I was so stuck in my head and so depressed. I wasn't getting out there and enjoying my life. I feel bad that I wasn't able to do that. So I was hoping I could be the voice to maybe help others to be able to do that at a younger age. Because it wasn't until I got into my 40s where I finally felt like I was settling into myself and feeling comfortable with myself. I thought, wow, I wish I could have felt that way when I was in my 20s.
I totally agree with that. We're so hard on ourselves as women, humans, people. We have this, we're our own worst critics, and we have this tendency to just like overly judge ourselves in a negative way. I love that you've created a resource for people to not feel alone, because I think that's the most important piece, is recognizing that yes, we're all unique individuals. Our stories are unique to our own, but our emotions and our feelings around things are not actually unique. We all experience imposter syndrome, body dysmorphia on some level, and bad about our bodies no matter what, at all ages. Not even just, it was way worse as a young woman, even now as a mom, as our bodies change, as we develop into adults. I think it's really important to not waste our life in that place of regret for feeling that way about ourselves. So if we can share our stories to support other people in examining their stories, then that's super, super powerful. I love that you've written this book. Tell us a little bit about the process, because I know so many people, they're like, oh, you're a published author. So one day you're Heather, the next day you're Heather published author. But what they don't see is all of the stuff in the middle, the process, the writing, the hurry up and wait, the editing and editing and editing and editing, and then the process actually being vulnerable and putting yourself out there. Tell us a little bit about the process for you.
I'd had in my mind this kind of want to write a book. Like I always thought, oh, I have information, I want to get it out there. And it was in my mind for years. And I was told about the course that you guys put on. So I thought, oh, a book writing course, how to write your manuscript in 6 months. I thought, yeah, that's going to be the little kick that's going to get me going. I started that course, loved it. I was really enjoying the process of sitting down and getting everything written and just like writing all the thoughts in my head and worrying about organizing it later, just getting everything out. I was really enjoying the process, going along just fine. And one day, I think somebody said, oh, I can't wait to read your book. Then it hit me. Oh my goodness, people who know me are going to read this. This is private stuff I've never told anybody about. It's not stuff that I wanted people to really know. I don't know if I want somebody reading this. It's almost like publishing your diary. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, if I can help somebody with this information, then it's all worth it. I got a little bit stuck when I realized that people I knew would be reading the book, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't know if I want people knowing that about me. So I retreated a bit. Then I would get back into it. I'd enjoy it. Was almost cathartic to write the stuff out. So it was a little bit back and forth there. Then when it was finally done, I was so excited. It's like, okay, hand it in, here we go. And it's that hurry up and wait. And throughout that hurry up and wait time, I'm thinking, oh, do I really want people to read this? And you know how your mind goes. You start thinking, no one's going to like this. No one's going to care. A lot of mind stuff goes on, but I thought I felt a need to write this book. I think there's a purpose for it. I got to do it and put it out there, and settled in and accepted the process for what it was, and the anxious waiting and all of that. All in all, I really enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it. A lot of freakouts along the way, but all in all, it's been a great experience.
What would one piece of advice be that you would give to anyone who is maybe considering putting their story out into the world, but is nervous about doing so the way you were, or nervous about sharing their truth with the world and putting their own perspectives out there, having people they know read their book? What would you tell them?
I would say, don't overthink it. Don't try to figure out how people are going to react to it. Also, I really strongly feel that as human beings, we have the responsibility to have our experiences. And if we can teach people from our own experiences, that's almost something that we should be doing. So you shouldn't feel like, oh, I'm opening myself up and they're going to think this about me. What you should be thinking is, I've experienced this and it's going to be helpful to someone, because somebody else has probably experienced something similar, and this is going to help them. And that's all that matters. We're here to help each other. And with that kind of mindset and attitude, it makes it a lot easier to write the ugly stuff and be okay with it being put out and people reading it.
Amazing. I love that. Would you read us a little excerpt from your book?
Sure. I've got one actually ready to go here. So this is about worrying about what people think about you. So when you put your energy into worrying about what others might be thinking about you, you rob yourself of a lot of joy. Can you imagine how great you would feel if you didn't spend time worrying about what others think? You absolutely do not have to worry. People are thinking about themselves more than they're thinking about you or anybody else. So when I finally wrapped my head around that, it was like, yeah, why am I getting so freaked out about what people are thinking about me? Because at the end of the day, they're not thinking about me anymore. People are thinking about themselves. The odd comment here and there that you might find hurtful And then you're thinking, oh, this person's like really thinking about me and thinking how horrible I am. It's not true. They've gone on to other things. People are more worried about themselves than they are you. So I found that was really helpful in helping me let go of being so serious and so guarded all the time.
I love that. And I totally agree. We do. We think about ourselves.
It's funny. We get so worried. And yeah, that person's probably not sitting at home right now thinking about me and picking me apart.
Absolutely. Heather, if you could share one gold nugget that you learned on your journey, your experience writing a book, putting your story out there, just the story in general, your entire life that you've gone through, what would one gold nugget be that you would leave our listeners with today?
I would say practicing being present in the moment and enjoying that rather than always thinking of the past and regret something. There's no point because you can't change it. It's already done. Trying to predict what's going to happen in the future can really stress you out, and you have no way of knowing what's going to happen then. So get into the habit of letting yourself be where you are, be 100% focused, and block the other things out. For me, that made my life a lot more rich and more enjoyable. And it doesn't have to be anything big, just the simple things like driving to work and hitting all the green lights. Like that can be a thrilling thing if you really focus on it, and just not getting so in your head and letting your head get so cluttered with things that have happened in the past or things that might happen in the future.
I love that. Present.
Yes.
Yay. So where can our listeners find you? What's next for you? Where do you hang out the most?
For social media, Instagram is where I go mostly. I'm a little bit on Facebook as well, but mostly Instagram. Heather Lind Fitness. Figured I'd keep it simple, just my name and then the word fitness. I mean, in real life, I hang out at the gym a lot. I walk around a lot. I'm always open to people sending me questions about fitness and stuff like that. I hope people aren't shy to do that because I love it. I love getting messages from people. And if I can help them, I'm happy to do so.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for writing this book and putting it out in the world. I cannot wait for everyone to get their hands on it. We will link the Amazon links in the show notes below, as well as anything else that we've discussed today on this show for you to track down Heather. And we will talk soon.
Thank you.